Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, how you doing? It's Nicole. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe down below. I try to put out content daily. I try to talk to you guys about life on life's terms and my struggles, and that's what I'm going to do today. So, I think a lot of you guys got to see my video that I made yesterday when I was at work. At that time, I had just found out that a dear friend of mine had taken her life. And the reason I found out is because she left the suicide letter to me, giving me instructions on what to do with her social medias, and I have never had that happen to me before. So I was kind of shocked, and scared, and I panicked, and I called her parents right away because I thought, well, if I get a hold of her parents, maybe they can save her. Maybe it's just happening. I thought it was happening in real time. So I called her dad, and he told me that it happened last night. And then the detective called me back and said that she must have sent me a message on a timer. So it came to me this morning because she knew I would have called her parents. So, she was the sweetest person I've ever met in my entire life. She didn't have a bad bone in her body. Like, I've never seen her, like, raise her voice to anybody. I've never seen her talk mean to anybody. Like, she was just so sensitive and fragile in her state, like her mental state, where she was just like not meant for this world. You know what I mean? Like, this world is so cruel. People are so mean. People are awful, and they hate on you, and if they get upset with you, then they turn on you on a dime. And it's like, she wasn't like that. She was like a true friend. I met her 10 years ago when we were in rehab, actually. And we were living in a halfway house in RCA. And it was right after I got out of prison. Remember when I paroled out from prison to Little Rock? That's when I met her. And we would have so much fun, you guys. She was a lot of my life when we lived in the treatment center, when we lived in the halfway house, because she was young. She was about 18. I was like almost 30, and she just had this like excitement. I was always afraid that we were going to get in trouble, or that, we're going to do something we weren't supposed to be doing, but not Ashley. She was like balls to the wall. I remember when I had like 6 months longer sober than her, and she was like, will you be my sponsor? And I was like, girl, I can't be your sponsor. We're too good of friends. Then me, her, and Jennifer all graduated and moved over to the apartments next door. And so we were just each other's neighbor. It was the perfect setup, you guys. Jennifer on one side, Ashley on this other side, me in the middle. We had our own separate apartments, little one-bedroom efficiencies. And we would hang out all night long, and we would have pasta, and after we all relapsed together, apparently. We would have pasta and wine together. And then we started doing Roxy's together, and it was just craziness. But Ashley was always, like, in my life, in those, from 2009 till about 2012, when she moved back to where her parents lived. And, she played the piano so good, like, played it, y'all. Like, she could play any Beatles song you can name, and she's obsessed with the Beatles. So, I'm just trying to, like, remember the good times I had with her, because right now, all I can remember is that fucking letter. Is that letter, and reading it and panicking. Like, my heart just started beating so fast. And I was, like, freaking out. Like, I gotta call somebody, and I automatically called her dad. And then the first time I called him, he said he wasn't her dad. And I was like, okay. And so then I called back again, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but are you Ashley's dad? And he was like, yes. And I was like, will you please go check on her? I think she's dead. And that's when he told me she had already done it. When people are struggling, you guys, with mental illness, and they try to commit suicide prior to something and they don't succeed, don't keep it a secret. Tell somebody, please, because 80% of people that attempt suicide will attempt it again and succeed. And that was what happened in this situation. Ashley was a dear, dear friend of mine. Like, I've known her for 10 years. And I did everything humanly possible that I could do to help her see the light at the end of the tunnel. I made suggestions. I, you know, started calling her on the phone and we would FaceTime. I empathized with her because she would beg me, like, can you at least empathize with me? And I'm like, yes, I do. And she would just sob and sob and sob, you guys. Like, she was just so unhappy. And she just wanted that mental pain to end. Because she could not see living another year. I mean, that she said out of her mouth, like, I cannot do this for another year. She could not handle it. She was so depressed and so sad and so disappointed in herself. And she felt like her family resented her. And she felt like they didn't think she could do anything. And it's unfortunate because all she needed was her family to support her, you know, mentally, not money wise, not monetarily, but she needed support from the people closest to her. She needed people to talk to, and she was very private. So I promised her that I would keep what she was telling me to myself, because she was just so afraid that her family would put her in a psych ward. You know, and so, against my better judgment, I didn't say anything that she was struggling, you know, because she made me swear I wouldn't. And now I'm like kicking myself in the ass because I should have said something. I feel so guilty for not calling somebody. I should have called the police or somebody and said, this girl is struggling. She's already attempted suicide once. And I didn't, because I was so worried because I didn't want her. I thought, oh, well, she didn't do it and maybe she's okay now and she can get through it and we'll work through it together. And we were making headway on, like, talking to each other face to face, because, like, at first she would only text me because she had PTSD, like, really bad. And so it just breaks my heart. I'm just devastated. I am so sad, you guys. This just breaks my heart in two for her. I loved her with all my heart. A dear friend. And it's just unfortunate that these things have to happen, you know. I feel like this could have been stopped. Or it could have been, like, we could have helped her, you know. I wish I was closer. I wish I had lived in the same town as her. I would have been with her every day. I would have hung out with her every day. You know, and this is always how it happens when somebody passes away. It's like you think in your mind, what could I have done? What should I have done? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's over and done with now. Like, she is in a better place. She is in a better place. I truly believe that God knows that she was struggling and that He brought her home to be with Him. Because every day here on earth to her was like hell. She felt like she was living in her own hell. It's just so sad. Because she was such a beautiful, smart girl. It's just a life lost, you know, like totally wasted. Like, she could have done anything, you guys. That's how smart this girl was. So pretty, too. I know her family is probably devastated, and that makes my heart hurt, too, because I could never imagine losing a child. really made me realize, like, how important it is to address your mental health. Like, if you're struggling with mental illness, it's okay and you're not alone. Like, we all struggle with it. I struggle with thoughts in my mind all the time. You know, I do my best to be a good person and to help others, but there's some people I can't do anything for, and I've tried, you guys. I've tried. You know, and I'm getting a lot of people giving me a hard time because I couldn't help them, and then they think they get mad at me. And that's why I don't try to help everybody, because some people are out of my line. I can't reach that far, you know, and you need more help than I can offer, you know. With Ashley, we had gotten her into counseling, and she was really making an effort to try to get out of her head. It was just a hard situation, you guys. But I wanted to talk about it because I know I just made a short video yesterday. I'm just struggling with thinking about her a lot, and like having her face flash in my mind, you know. I have to go check her Facebook and see if anybody messaged her and talk to her friends for her and let them know she's in heaven now, you know. And of course I'm not posting anything on her social media yet because I want to wait for her parents, you know. But it's just it's hard, you guys. It's hard. I lost a friend when I was in my active addiction in 2005, and it was just as hard. Like, I remember feeling just like this. It's like I just don't want to do anything. I just want to lay and think about her. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I will call y'all later, or talk to you guys later. Bye.